Very warm welcome. Hello, namaste, and sat sri akal. Good afternoon to all of you present here. Welcome to the SS Chandok Talk Show. I'm your host and moderator, SS Chandok. The main purpose of this show is to bring together the dynamic and influential principals and directors of schools and colleges together from Pan India on a platform for discussing the education related topics. So there's a saying, a book can be a star, a living fire to lighten the darkness, leading out into the expanding universe. As educators, we all know the importance of reading, how it improves vocabulary, how it helps students to be able to express themselves, how it broadens imagination and idea generation, how it equips our young people with the tools they will need for their life beyond the school. So basically, we know very well we are gathered over here to talk about reading, the key to excellence, which is an integral part of the student's education. Here we have the eminent speaker, the eminent guest, who are so much influential. I think whatever my language is, I feel that these are the leaders who lead the leaders. So these all are super leaders, I feel. So I mean, thank you all of you that you are here, and I will give although you do not need any introduction, all of you, but still as a mark of respect, I will shorten down your introduction because it will take a day's time to introduce all of you. You have done so much things in your particular fields, but I'm saying sorry beforehand if I miss out anything from your part. Firstly, we have Mr. Rashid Gupta. He's principal, Darshan Academy, the Sayu Punjab. He is a motivational speaker, parenting coach, teacher trainer, prolific writer, regular columnist, poet, stage player, actor, and director. Life skill and soft skill coach, effective leader, and awarded by many associations, and he's also a member of many associations. Apart, what he has not told that he's a YouTuber and he has more than 13,000 followers, where he gives speeches on different topics related to CBSE, or it may be motivational speeches also. We welcome you, sir, and we are very grateful that you are over here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Then we have Astha Bharadwaj, ma'am. She is principal, Samved Senior Secondary School, Vrindavan. Samved Senior School Secondary is an senior secondary girls residential school, and ma'am is looking after all these girls for their all-round development. She is a parenting coach, an avid leader, youth education icon of the town. She's a social warrior. She takes part in various welfare program of NGOs and social organizations, which we had been seeing all the times on the social medias. Her interest is to provide education to underprivileged girls, for which she has received many awards. Apart from this, she has received many awards from national and international levels, and she has also been associated with many associations on national and international levels. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for sparing time for us. Next, we have Shelly Bhutani, ma'am. She has 23 years vast experience in education. She's a passionate leader, mentor of 7 schools of CBSE in Delhi. She has wrote many computer books from 2012. She's a motivational speaker, CBSE master trainer, national trainer for Khelo India, international relationship counselor, national president of Indian Human Values. Since 15 years, she is the head of Agrasen Public School, and also she's a member of University of Reading UK since 2016. And again, ma'am also has been associated with many associations, India and abroad, as well as she has received many awards from India and abroad. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have Dr. Farzana Shakil Ali. She is the director and principal of Kriti Public School. She has 27 years of wide experience in education. She is also Secretary Sahodaya Barabanki Cluster. She is CBSE training coordinator from CO, appointed from CO Prayagraj for Barabanki and Bahraich. She's a master trainer, content writer for online CBSE trainings on inclusive education, master trainer for assessment and evaluation by CAER, and a selected mentor by CBSE, doctorate in life science, postgraduate in botany and education. She is an ardent learner and a scholar. She has keen interest in research, guidance, counseling, inclusive education, social services, and many, many more things. Ma'am is also associated with many associations from in India and abroad, and she has also received many awards from the same. Next, we have Tarna Kapoor ma'am. Tarna Kapoor ma'am doesn't also needs more introduction. She has more than 20 years of experience in education as an administrator also. She's associated with Microsoft since 2018. She has completed more than 150 courses of Microsoft, for which she has been awarded Microsoft Innovative Expert. She's a certified National Geographic educator, certified Apple teacher. She has collaborated with people all around the world to help her students to become global citizens. She encourages her students to read multicultural books, which is the best way to promote literacy by knowing the cultural and languages of people all around the world. She's also associated with many associations, India and abroad, and has also received many awards on these bases. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming. Then we have Amritash Mishra, sir, because today our topic is that about reading. So we had been seeing that there are many apps which are being, because of the online education, we have many apps which are going on as an for English speaking and all, and reading and all. So on our request, sir is the senior vice president of Stones to Milestone, and he is heading up with the Freedom app, which is related to reading. So we have requested him to come over here and speak about the things or the queries, or what are the things the apps are doing, or maybe what his app shows, because we do not know exactly what these things are. So I welcome you, all of you. Thank you so much for coming. And we will start up with the first round because already we are a little late. So we'll start up with Rashid Gupta, sir. We'd like to ask you, sir, that we have up in mind, or people have in mind, is reading essential for academic excellence? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely. For achieving academic excellence, reading is a must, because the way we say that body needs food for energy, a vehicle needs fuel for its running, our mind needs the words and the sentences and the books and reading. That's kind of fuel for mind. The difference between a student who reads more and a student who reads less and is focused basically on the textbooks and the teachings provided by the teachers is quite evident, that the student who reads more needs less help from the outside sources. He has got already the help in the form of the books. As we say that the books are the best friends a man can ever hope for. So whenever I do agree that with the advent of internet and with the number of resources which are available on Google and YouTube and all, the attention has been diverted from books to device. But these things cannot substitute for a book in hand. There are a lot of issues with your eyesight, with your sitting posture, with your multiple attention diversion problems, but no such issues are there with the books. So a child who reads books definitely adds to his or her vocabulary, knows much more than the one who does not read, gains self-confidence that yes, he knows something more than the others. The critical and analytical thinking skills of the child improve. Suppose if I'll give an example about this, we study about the mysteries, the books which have the stories where the endings are there, where we can't even think of the end. A normal person can't even think of that kind of end is possible. If you have watched Race movie or Race 2 movie, there are so many twists and turns. At every twist and turn, you think, okay, this might be the probable end. But suddenly there is one more twist and the end changes. So these kinds of books where their critical thinking and analytical thinking is required, the children who read more are able to come to the end much before they reach the last page of the book. The concentration span of the children increases. They are able to focus more on their study books also, because they are reading the books in their free time. You need to sit at a place, you need to find a relaxed atmosphere, and you need to have that friend in your hand to read and to understand and to enjoy the text. You cannot do that without
right, sir.
improving
Very
your
right.
concentration. So
Very
all
right,
these
sir.
things help the students in their studies also.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Actually, what I'll add on this, because all the time the books are not available. Now the dictionaries, we are not using dictionaries over there now, because whenever the children need meaning of anything, then to go into the Google. So the thing is that whenever the things are over there, if we use it for a better thing, we use it wisely. So it is profitable. It is good for the children. Like if the children are using medias, so they or mobiles or their laptops, they should use it for a very good purpose. If you are using for education purpose for a limited time, so then it is better. Asta ma'am, I'll also like to ask you your experience about that, about this, that how is reading essential for academic excellence?
Of course, reading, I think Rasik sir already started with a wonderful need of reading is like as fuel is needed, and for mind reading is again a fuel that is needed. Now comes about how does it affect our academic excellences? We need to go for what all is needed for academic excellence first. If I just jot down a bit, academic excellence, for academic excellence, focus is needed, concentration is needed. We have been looking at the children, those who are focused more, those who are concentrated more, those who have a good gesture for critical thinking, those who are curious about the topics. So these all things we need, the children have been found doing good at all grade levels. So because these things are needed and these things are polished with reading only. So that is why reading, I think, is very much important for academic excellence. Now for excellence, we need to understand the subject well. How would we understand the subject? Only if we will have good vocabulary, only if we will be able to bring up the relationship amongst two or more words, only if we will be able to analyze that content and think about it, like as we say, visual learners, kinesthetic learners. For reading, again, it means when we read, it comes to our mind. How would it come until and unless we won't be able to imagine those words? And this will happen only if we will be broadening our minds with reading. So I feel with every aspect, reading is the cause. If we do that, academic excellence definitely works. With vocabulary, with content, in languages, especially comprehension, we won't be able to have that academic excellence in languages until we understand that comprehension, which we have been looking in board classes. Even the children, those who are pass outs from school, actually, and those who are in those who are attempting for competitive examinations, even we have been looking after, they have to open class 6 to 12th books again.
Yeah.
Why does it happen? This is a major factor. For those competitive examinations, they open that syllabus of class 4, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th again. Because again, the relationship amongst the words, amongst the content was not clear. Because we just wrote learn, we don't read. So this has been found, children, especially from nursery onwards. I may be looking like speaking from, but because we are educators, we will understand this. Especially from children from nursery, KG, first, second, third standard even. Those who are not keen learners, not keen readers, they are found to not have good academic excellence in further grades even. So
because ma'am, they don't have critical thinking. They have been always based on rote learning. So we can say, ma'am, yeah, we can say that reading develops the level of focus and concentration also. If a child is in habit of reading, the concentration, the focus and concentration level will for sure increase.
Of course.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Farzana ma'am, I'll like to speak to you about this. What are your views regarding the essential of for academic excellence? Reading is.
Okay, first of all, congratulations, Mr. Chandok, for the launch of your show and today on this platform.
Thank you, ma'am.
I also greet all the co-panelists. What Mr. Rasik and Astha ma'am has just mentioned, I second that thought. Yes, reading is essential for academic excellence, because if you look at NEP 2020, it's talking about foundational literacy and literacy of languages. And it has to be done on a mission mode. So why mission mode? Why we have realized this thing now and we have included it as a part. We were always teaching languages since time immemorial, but now the focus has come to teach the languages well. And out of that LSRW, that is listening, speaking, reading, and writing, today we are talking about that reading skill, which needs to be developed in all our children right from early childhood years. Now, where the problem lies. See, if you know some child studying in international school or maybe in abroad, like, so how I'm telling you this, because when my niece was, very, very young, she started her play school in UK. And, there were set of books which have to be read by the child till, till the time the child is in class 5. From nursery, the set of books are well planned and given to the children at every level which they have to complete. So there is a proper reading module which has to be followed along with the curriculum. It's not reading for exams or reading to rote learn. It was reading by listening, reading to comprehend. And then those little children were taught more about phonics, more about phonological processing skills, so that they develop and build their own reading skills in the process. And they were told about the sight words. So once the children starts, imagining, like just now Astha ma'am mentioned, when you read, it goes straight to your mind. You can, imagine that thing. So those skills were taught at that level, and it enhanced reading skill in all the children. Till date, she's an avid reader. If you take her for shopping, she will purchase books. So that was the impact of that school on her reading skills. So when we are talking about reading, we are here, it's about reading to comprehend, reading as a pleasurable activity. If we as educators are able to instill that thought in our children right from early years, reading not as a course or curriculum, reading for pleasure, I think these children are going to gain in terms of academic excellence as they move forward and get upgraded in next classes. Because reading as a habit, reading as a hobby, reading to de-stress you, if reading has become so pleasurable for our children, then there's no stopping back. They will learn all other subjects, because languages form the basis of all other subjects. And when they are writing their exams, when they're expressing, everything is based on a language. So reading plays a crucial role. It's a brain exercise, I must say. So we need to get into these language learning exercises in a fun way to generate students' interest into reading.
Very well said, ma'am. Thank you so much. Shelly ma'am, we'll also like to know your views about this, and how reading is essential for academic excellence.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, books are the quietest and most concerned of friends, right? So they are the most accessible and wisest of counselors, and the most patient of teachers too sometimes. So our child reading skills are really very important to their own success, whether it's school, whether there's own area of home, or whether they're friends, because as they will allow them to access their curriculum, as well as they also improve their communication language skills with reading skills too. So in addition, reading can be fun, right? And it can be imaginative time for the children, which opens door to all kinds of new worlds for them. So why is it so important? Because studies always shows reading for pleasure. And it make a big difference to the children educational performance. Likewise, the small evidence suggests that the children who read for enjoyment every day not only perform better in reading tests, but those who don't also develop a broader vocabulary, increase general knowledge, and they must have better understanding of other cultures too. So in fact, reading for the pleasure, it's more likely to determine whether a child does not well at school, but their social economic background would be good if reading would be there. So they can build vocabulary, they can build understanding, they can even stress level less, and they can brain exercises. Even they are more stronger if they have this reading session in their own life, because when they read, they might come across a few words. Sometimes you don't quite understand or even recognize, but this reading can be, remove all the confusion, which you look up the word and discover the definition of dictionary. So this is very, very important to reduce your stress level, to tension relief, and also help with the depression, because especially it helps your depression occurrence. Just like with the lowering your stress level, it's always a part of the brain that deals with the depression as well. So self-help books full of information about how to better yourself, how your state of mind, it always help ease depression. And they also enjoy, they also have a self love as a self friend, because the memory improvement, they have a better focus. Though it has been mentioned earlier about how reading can improve concentration and critical thinking, but there is another part of mental health too, because this reading helps to improve. So this is point also stated in so many blogs, that reading at least a little each day can improve our focus, can improve children focus and their memory function, because they always focus improve through the reading, and they strengthen their writing abilities. When they read something, they will also strengthen their writing abilities, because reading does not just have health benefits. They have,
Exactly, ma'am.
they have a
Exactly.
benefits for the other aspects of your life
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your views.
Thank you so much.
Tarna, ma'am, we will also like to have your views regarding this, that why reading is essential for academic excellence.
Oh, it is very, very important. And I would like to greet all my co-panelists, and thank you so much, Chandok sir, for giving me this opportunity
My pleasure,
on this
ma'am.
wonderful platform. And for me, today a reader, tomorrow a leader, right? And the child who reads is a ready man, right? And what I feel that, like my co-panelists, all of them have more or less, they have covered almost all the points. But
Yeah.
for me, the child imagines when he reads, when he or she reads, the imagination improves, then his curiosity is there. He's ready to ask the questions. The child is creative, when he writes or when he speaks, because the vocabulary is enhanced. So there are so many things which empowers the child. The reading empowers the child when a child reads good books, which is into his practice, because once a reader will always be a reader, because that is a
Yeah.
habit of the child. That passion or that habit doesn't die. If you, like ma'am said, it is rightfully said, when a young child is trained or groomed to read, those skills never die. The child looks for that book as a gift. Once you gift that book to a child, the child is longing for that present only, that yes, that is my hobby to read and I enjoy reading, that gives me pleasure, because they are your best friends. They give you, but don't ask anything. Your best friend. So child is in a rural area. So what we do in our school is deer activity. So once a
Right.
week now, so like it's a pandemic, but once a week, what we do, we everything for 40.
Ma'am, your
So
voice
we
is
have
cracking.
in the class itself a reading corner for them, where all the children have their books and they exchange the books. Once they've completed, then they come up, then they go up to the second book. So that is how this habit is inculcated in the children, and they learn and they deliver better. Plus, as you see my children performing in the global collaborations, like last week, one of my child from rural area was a speaker, which is a big thing. An 11-year-old child who's a speaker amongst the global educators. He was the one who presented, and he had that much of confidence to deliver. Why? Because he's reading. He's into reading. So reading should be a practice. That is how the children can deliver better. They can excel in competitions also, because when you read, your vocabulary, as well said, you don't have to look for the words from the dictionary or something else. They are absorbed. So you are ready to collaborate anytime, anywhere, with anyone,
Yes,
whether
ma'am.
it's a
You're
competition,
yes, ma'am.
or a school platform.
Ma'am,
So
you are
that's
doing a great job, ma'am. Your students are also connected with the students of national and international level. They are doing
yes.
great, and of course, they are doing great because of you. Thank you so much. Now we are coming up to Amritash Mishra sir, and because the the trend of this show will be like that. We are calling up eminent people like you also from the industry, so that they may tell us what are the things. We are very much confused many a times, because there are many people are over there, what is right and what is wrong, as well as we'll be also taking you as an aapki adalat type, that we'll be वो कटघरे में we'll be start putting you up, and we will be asking you questions that how do you prove that whatever things you people or you are bringing it into the education field. So what good it is in it, and what are the facilities there? It is by name only, or are there things which everyone can afford? Because the thing is, as you told, that is free of cost even right now. So because of pandemic, there are financial issues with many of the schools, most of the schools. So there also the schools cannot start up with a new thing. Reading part, maybe students are not able to go to the places to buy books, or they are not able to exchange amongst them. And for sure, if they are using the media or the books or the stories on the media level, on their mobiles or their laptops, so how far they are using, how far they, it is good that these things should go on, and how can you help you out? How do you help it out for us as an educationist?
Thank you so much, Sarji sir, and I have my gratitude to you to call me here. So happy to see everyone talking with so much passion. I'm sure you all will be thinking, "Ye kis bacche ko utha ke leke aaye hain?" So let me give you an introduction of myself and let me set some context. So I graduated from IIT Madras in 2008, worked with Unilever for a while, finished my executive MBA at IIM Bangalore. Then I decided in 2009 to start a library based in Chennai. We ran the library for the longest time. Now we are merged into this company called Stones to Milestones. It's known for its program called WOW, Wings of Word, and its app called Freedom App. So I'll give you an idea of all that, but I want to, hearing you talk, I have made some notes. I want to share a very interesting story from my life. So when I joined work, one of my first assignments was when I was a trainee, I joined a factory, a shampoo factory. And in the shampoo factory, this company 2 years before me, before I joined, they had bought a chlorination plant. It's a small plant. It's about 2 crores value, and it's sitting there. And they had imported it. And the problem was, when they had imported it and they had set it up, the technicians in that area didn't know how to fit it. So it sat for 2 years. And when I joined, you have to give something to the trainee, right? Isko busy rakhna hai. So they asked me to look at the chlorination plant, or bola, find a technician, get it installed. My first question was, show me the manual. And so the entire company, entire factory, 400 people looked up and down for the manual. Manual kahin kone mein tha, just somewhere in the corner. We took it out. And if you read the manual, it was so easy. We installed it in 7 days. And really, for me, this is the story of, large parts of our country. We have these people in jobs at work who have graduated from schools who are not even comfortable to read a manual. And then you go back and you see, in 12th and 10th, they had so many books. They were not comfortable to read that. We had to mark out portions saying, okay, you're not able to read the whole book, read only this much. And then before that, and you trace back and you see that it comes to early childhood. And as all of you said, such a problem that if the children don't read early, then this happens. And then you are an employee waiting for a technician to fit a factory, fit a plant. So that's why I decided to leave and pursue reading as my cause. I just wanted to share that story. Thank you. So, sir, Sarjeet sir, what we do is we have this program called Club 1BR, Club 1 Billion Readers, and we have made this mission of ours saying that with everybody's help, we should get 1 billion children to be readers, reading, and comfortable at it. And 1 billion is like 1 in 2 children, and it's a tough target, but if we are together in it, we can do it. We as a country, we have had great battles that we have won. We have gone to the, we have gone to, as a human race, we have gone to the moon, we are going to Mars, we have eradicated polio. Now we are fighting COVID. So definitely getting 1 billion children to read is a workable task, right? So in this, what we are doing is that in the program, I think what we start with is that we make the Freedom app free for everyone. It's a very simple app. There are about 2,000 books for early childhood. Sabke liye free hai. If they want to read it, they can read it. If they don't, it's okay. The data that comes out of the app, we give back to the schools. So I wanted to quickly check in on this, that maybe about a month or so back, Shelly ma'am's school, Maharajas Agrasen, joined us, and I was checking the data just before the school, before the call, and I was checking, which children have read how much and how many minutes they've read. So I can give you with incredible accuracy that these children have read for these minutes. This is what they have read, and maybe you can focus on these classes which are not being able to read, or maybe this teacher needs help, or this teacher has done really well. Maybe she needs some appreciation from us. And so that's one thing that I wanted to just say, that, this new digital reading allows us to do things that we couldn't do. I started my career as a librarian, dealing with physical books, and, moving from physical to digital, I've seen this journey. And the great advantage of digital books is that we can really now tell which children are reading, which children have trouble, which children need our help, which teachers need our recognition and support. So that's what I wanted to say.
Sir, but we want to know that nowadays we feel a problem, all the teachers, that's a common problem, that students are not attending the classes. If they are joining, they are not opening their cameras, they are moving outside here and there, and the parents are complaining that the classes are not going on, the children are not studying. So children, they say class nahi chal rahi, aaj aayi nahi class. Although they join, they give attendance, they don't open their cameras. That is a very big problem. So the thing is that how can your app or your thing, whatever the thing is, that how can this thing make interesting to the children? The playway method sort of thing, how interesting you can make it, so that if the children do it, so they can do it on an interesting, they have an interest in that, as well as the parents are, or how the parents will be able to see that their children are studying or not. How can they check that?
Yeah. So what we do is that the app can be used on mobile, but can also be used on a computer. So what we encourage teachers to do is to open it in their Zoom classes and share their screen and pick up the books that they would like to do. And, let me just see if I'm able to, I think it'll take too much time. Let me just talk about it. So what teachers do in some of these classes where we have been successful is that they look at a series of stories that are of interest to the children, maybe something in science or math, or a set of series about adventure or mythology, and they make a little 3-4 week lesson plan, and they do a lot of storytelling during the online class itself, follow it up with using the app on the web version in Zoom with screen share, and then end up giving it as homework. And because the canvas is large, there are 500 books. So you can, 500 books per class. And so what happens is that they're easily able to innovate. The teachers themselves are easily able to innovate and make their own little, journeys for their children. Sometimes we collaborate deeply with them, saying, "Aap ye try kijiye, aap ye try kijiye." But most of the time we have seen that the teachers are so innovative and the schools are so innovative that if you're able to give this, then the teachers can follow up on their own.
Right.
And of course, at the end of the week, they have the data to see कि किस बच्चे ने actually follow up करके पढ़ा है, or how many questions they've been able to answer on it.
And how the parents can check, sir? Parents can also check.
Yeah, so the app has the when the parent logs in, we use the parent's phone number to log in. So the parent always has access to the child's reading data on the app itself. I don't know if the school wants to share the full class data to the parent. It'll be a little, it'll be difficult for the parent to absorb so much. But on the app, they can check. And what we have done is for each story, we have associated some skills. And so as the children read stories and answer questions, the questions are at the end of the stories, the parent can see the skill level progression.
Right. Right, sir. Thank you so much. Now we'll come up to the next part of the question, that how does reading impact learning and comprehension? Farzana ma'am, I'd like to a few words from you for that how reading impacts learning and comprehension.
As I said earlier also, it's not about just reading to read, it's about reading to comprehend. So there are various styles of reading which has to be told to the children when we are teaching them languages. There's just one thing, reading for correct pronunciation, for having good knowledge of phonics. That is one reading. Reading to comprehend, because with the latest CBSE circular, it will be case studies which children are going to face during their term 1 and term 2 exams. So if they do not read to comprehend, if we have not taught them that skill as a teacher, as an educator, first, are we teachers role modeling this thing, what we are telling our children or trying to instill in them? That's a big question mark, because we as teachers need to upgrade and enrich ourselves, upskill ourselves, I'll say, in all these areas wherein we want our children to improve. Just telling is not going to make the difference. So when you say, how does reading impact learning and comprehension? Reading certainly impacts learning and comprehension if proper reading skills are taught at the right age. That will be my answer to it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Asta ma'am, what do you say about this? That how reading impacts learning and comprehension?
Although this is again a part of the answer and the part of the concern questions we have discussed earlier as well, but still just adding few more points to the same discussion which we are doing. Reading is for learning, reading is for comprehending, reading is for imagining. Yes, if we talk about proportional aspects, so I feel reading, learning, comprehending, these are all proportional. Focusing on intonations, focusing on relationship amongst words, focusing on imagination of the reading content. I think this, again, reading impacts comprehension more. As I already stated, I would like to repeat that even cognitive science and applied science of learning, as per research surveys, even that says that the children who do not practice learning, do not practice reading at times, especially junior age, I'm again saying, at that time, they are found to be less intellectual as compared to those who are avid readers or those who are reading learners. As Farzana ma'am even said, that schools even impact imbibing this reading habit amongst students, because comprehending is like, it's not for only comprehension. Comprehending means expressing yourself. It's not for only books. It's not for only reading. Comprehending means living life, expressing yourself, understanding words, taking out, relating words with your real life. So this is all with life. This is all with learning. And finally, yes, academics as well. So all is all proportional to each other.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Rashik sir, I like to talk to you about a different question. Who needs to be convinced more about reading, teachers or parents? Because there's a difficulty. We see that the students, they don't have a habit of reading. So somewhere, someone at the parents level or at the teachers level has to see that, and the reading habit is inculcated among the students from the very beginning. So who needs to be convinced more, teachers or parents?
I must say this is a very interesting question, and the part which was hidden in the question, which was not clearly written in the question or spoken by you, is the students only. And you have very rightly pointed out the ultimate goal is to make the children read, make them develop this habit of reading, and for that they need somebody to motivate them. It's very simple. we always say that children are like blank paper. There's nothing written on them when they're born. Whatever we do in front of them, or the way in which we act and perform in front of them, that is what gets written on those papers, on those minds. So
Right.
if they see that kind of atmosphere is there at home from the beginning, because we all agree that home is the first school and parents are the first teachers. So ultimately, it has to be, teachers have to be motivated for reading, but at the same time, we cannot ignore that the first teachers are the parents themselves. So if the child sees that kind of atmosphere is there at home, if the parent right from the tender age appropriate books they read in front of children, they recite the stories in front of them, definitely they'll be motivated to read. And when they go to the school, again, the teachers, when they know the importance of reading, and when they themselves give their own examples, we are the role models. We cannot ever ignore this aspect. We are the role models. A teacher cannot tell the children, okay, I never read any book, but you please read the books. Reading book is very important. We have to cite our own examples, the kind of transformation we brought in our life as a student, as a teacher, as a parent, and how the books helped us in doing that. That will be, I think, the most motivating factor for the students to be transpired, to be encouraged for reading. So parents as well as teachers, both need to be encouraged for reading.
It's a vice versa, but obviously we have to convince parallelly both the things, because reading is a part not for the convincing for anybody. Reading is a part for convince to for everyone. So reading doesn't have just for a parent, for the teacher, for the student. It's for everyone, because it's the best part about reading, that how you improve yourself, right? How you have to give your own vocabulary strengthen, how you have to give your own imagination on empathy to your own self. So this is an enhancement of your own imagination. It's not for the parents, it's not for the children, it's not for the education, it's not for one aspect. Actually, reading is an aspect which is just a common benefits for everyone,
Right.
because
Right.
it's increase your own working power, your own capabilities, your own writing skills, your own powerful, this is powerful tool. Actually, this is considered as empathetic with the people. More you read, more you elaborate, more you
Right.
read, more you can read, right? So this is boost even your sleep, right? When you read well, you can sleep well too. So reading is a good company at the night too, before you go to the bed. So choosing a good book and settling down after dark is also relaxable. So according to me, if your day is busy, so take a breath and go for the good book of reading. It's not for parents, for teachers, for principals, for anything. It's for everyone actually. This is my own opinion. So reading before bed calms your body and mind, especially after a long and stressful day nowadays. So
Yeah.
reading is must for everyone,
Yes, for sure.
right? Yeah.
Taruna ma'am, I think you are back. Taruna ma'am, I hope you are back. Oh, she has just messaged that she had a call from the management.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
back-
Amrita, sir, you would like to say something about this?
Yeah, I have. This is such an interesting and so exciting to hear principals talk about this, because it's sometimes you're on the other side and you don't hear principals say to us what their issues are. What I wanted to say was that 4 years back, when we were running the library, I had written something about how to get your child to read, and some strategies. And a lot of the strategies where you should read with your child. And then I realized that one of the big problems is that many of our teachers are not readers, and many of the parents are not readers. And at the age of 35, how do we convince them to be readers? So it's an uphill task, right? And some principals were telling me that they do this. All teachers have to go to the library for 40 minutes per week, read a book themselves. But it's like if I think of myself, I don't play football, or I don't play badminton. Now, if I have to learn badminton to teach my daughter badminton, it's too much work, right? So so I thought about this for a long time. So I have this workshop that I do now with parents and teachers. It's called I Don't Read, but I Want My Child to Read. where we start off by saying, okay, I acknowledge that you are a busy parent and you don't have the time to change your habits now. Let me give you something you can do without judgment for your child to become a reader. And we talk about very simple things like set a routine, like Sunday morning you'll read or bedtime you'll read. Second is give access, just give access or use your school library. Third is role model it. If you are not a reader, you are not able to role model, find another adult. Maybe a cousin of yours reads a lot, or maybe some teacher is there, some neighbor is there, some role model has to be there. And it's beautiful. I'll share this details of this with all of you after the meeting. I just like after this, whenever I talk to parents, I start by saying, okay, I'm not judging you. Okay, you are not able to read, you're busy. Let me tell you what you can do for your child. And I think it's really worked for me. I mean, I'll share my notes with you, and I'm hoping that you will try it in your schools and see, and you can tell me how it will work for you. It's called that. I don't read, but I want my child to read.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Full idea, you know.
Just I would like to add a bit into it. It seems really very interesting the way you're presenting it. But the way we all agreed, reading is useful, and it all question is very apt. The teachers and the parents have to be convinced first. The role of a school becomes very important over there.
Yes.
Like this kind of webinar we have conducted, this kind of videos have to be shared with the parents, or the benefits of the reading has to be conveyed to the parents first, and then the teachers also. And they have to be like, they have to believe first from within that yes, it improves. Like we all talk about meditation. Meditation has multiple health benefits and mental benefits and all. But the one who has never meditated, we can't expect that he will not tell others, you also don't meditate because I did not meditate. So it will be the same kind of thing. I never meditated, but you meditate. So the person who has never done, it's never too late. Neither with reading nor with meditation. At any stage of life, we can get an interest for it. We never got somebody who created or developed interest in us for reading, but it's not that we cannot find that one person. We only need that one person. And if he's able to convince me, definitely with his help, I'll be able to convince my children also.
Yes, surely. That's true, sir. That's true. That's true. That's a very right suggestion you have given to us. And we should follow that also. That's great. Tarna, ma'am, we were talking about, I think you were busy with the management call. So we were talking about, and it's okay. For the reading habits, who should be convinced more, teacher or parent? We were talking about this. And almost everyone has given their views about that. And we are in shortage of time also. So we'll have a very small round, a 1 minute or 1.5 minute answer I need from all. I'm sorry, I'm saying that need. So that word is not right. I'm so sorry, but we have to discuss about that. We'll start with you, Tarna ma'am, that in your opinion, what is the best way to encourage children to read? How can you encourage? Because without encouragement, without their interest, they won't do that. So what do you feel that what is the best way out?
See, we should actually, from a very younger stage, like kindergarten, as a school stakeholders, I'm talking. As a kindergarten student only, we should have a reading corner for the children, and we should mandatorily, it should be compulsory for all the children to read those flashy books where, small 3-letter words and all, they should be there where they can develop that habit. And the sight words, as Dr. Prasanna said, the sight words should be there so that they can, relate those words with those books, and then they can read. So when they will find some interest in the pictures and the words, so definitely they will read. Plus, there are many apps like sir, Amitosh sir said he has an app also. And there are in Microsoft, we have immersive reader also. So the children who have problem in, reading, the immersive reader reads for them and they can repeat after that. So at times when the child cannot read, the child loses that, thought of reading. So once you guide them, you motivate them, you tell them stories, you make that thing very interesting for them, they will definitely read. That is my view on it. And this is responsibility of all the stakeholders, basically, the teacher, the parent, and the school head. That these things should be there.
Thank you, ma'am. Farzana ma'am, your opinion.
In continuation with what Taruna ma'am has just mentioned, I would say again, be role models. If you want our children to be good readers, as Rasik Gupta sir has also mentioned the same thing, what we are not doing, we cannot tell others to do. So, and it's never too late to start. I just like that thing. So we have to role model this thing. Read to your child right from an infancy stage when the child doesn't even know what books are. Jo Dadi Ma ki stories and all those things were there. What were those? The children were not even 1 or 2 years old, and then those stories were narrated to them. So, but when you are narrating, just have that flashy book, as Taruna ma'am has mentioned, in your hand, just have the child in the lap. So, it is a part of parenting, which I'll
Right.
say we can do in parents orientation when we conduct parents orientation of pre-primary students. Let's develop that habit and share this thing with the parents also. You have the child in your lap and enjoy that reading when you're narrating, so that the children develop. And then when they grow up, read together. They should see every time the parents are also reading new books. Even in the school, the educators should talk about that. See, I have just finished reading this story. Have you all read it or not? Generate that curiosity, just ignite that little spark. As President, our late President APJ Abdul Kalam sir also used to say, provide them that access. Have those low level reading corners which are accessible to all children. They can just go pick their book, sit, enjoy, even if they do not know how to read at that early stage. But let them touch, feel, and get near to the books. Let them have that experience. Then only, if you say, Nani, don't touch this book, it's costly, it's this and that. No, it's for them. If you
Yes,
want them to be good readers, give them access to it. Have reading corners, as ma'am said, and class 1 onwards, have classroom libraries, which I always do in my schools. Let the children bring their storybooks, assemble and keep it together in that corner of classroom library, because one child's storybook may not have been read by the other child. So that exchange goes on and you have variety in your classroom library.
very
So
right, ma'am.
all this,
Very
and now
right.
we have those advanced technologies wherein we have apps to help the children to read. So that's a plus point with all of us today. And thanks to
Yes.
this lockdowns for coming up and for giving us all these wonderful new devices and apps and tools which can be used to enrich ourselves.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Asta ma'am, please, your opinion about, in 1 minute, but your opinion about how can we, encourage the students to read?
Although this is a question that itself needed half an hour, no?
I know,
But
I know, ma'am.
I'll try to brief it to the shortest, because I feel we all are, as educators, are the best counselors. And this question revolves around counseling, being a parenting coach, being a motivational trainer, being a mentor, being an educator. So I would just state, as you said, the previous question, who needs to be convinced more? So there were two questions combined into that, which stated your next question, who and how. Who needs to be, says a triangle, that parent, teacher, student, and in the center of that triangle is the leaders, idols, example setters, role models. Now, convinced more, how? That is how you said that we need to encourage them. There are many factors, many factors. Let me just brief in a sentence. I feel stronger the bond of yours, stronger our bond with our children, with our parents, and with our teachers. More tempting the strategies we give them for reading. Now, those tempting strategies we need to sort out, we need to take out, and we need to give them more tempting strategies so that reading becomes an addiction for them. More influential the guidance we give to the complete triangle, being into center, if we are. So more the results come to us. How
Very well said.
selective reading options I feel we are giving them, it depends on us. It's not only about books, it's not only about reading, it's about reading, it's about reader, it's about content in the books, it's about environment of the reading.
Reading.
Where,
Very
what kind of environment, as Farzana ma'am said, classroom, small classroom libraries. I feel one more strategy in brief I would like to add, I of a child, I ego. I of everybody in the universe needs appreciation. Everybody would agree this. And eye of the little child is very innocent. And the time when we appreciate that eye of the child, see how does the child do it.
Very well.
Sometimes we people try in our kindergarten sections, and we ask our teachers to ask them, Beta, I could not understand. Could you please explain me reading this? And see how the little child flaunts himself and he suddenly starts reading. And once he
Right.
does that, our task is done being educators. So how
Very
are
well.
we making it addiction for the students? How are we tempting them to do? How are we convincing? Now, if I come to parents, I would really like to speak on that question, but still, if I come to parents, every parent has one goal. Apart from bacha kya kar raha hai, you leave it. Every parent has one goal. My child should be an officer. My child should be an identity. So we need to poke out the goal. Again, we being educators and counselors, we need to poke that goal. We need to target every child's future in front of the parents, making them understand that how is their future related to reading. Now, how to do it? That again, we need to do it with ourselves, do it with motivation, encouragement, applauses, awards, rewards, accolades, by hook or by crook. I feel if in the tender age we are able to make reading an addiction for the students, we will be making a good future for our children. Now again, right level. Another point to end up, I will say the right level of reading. Sometimes we become so passionate, we want other side of the table to read what we want. So I think that is the foremost point we need to focus on. We need to see who is on the other side of the table. So the right level as per the child's interest, that is to be seen, to tempt it. Then I feel series of reading is a good method of encouragement because we become addicted to it. As we watch serials, even वो last episode में वो सिर्फ पैर दिख जाना, लेकिन कौन होगा
बिल्कुल, exactly.
So
Exactly.
we need to tell our children, we need to give them series of the books. Let the story end with a question, curious question. Randomly, definitely the child will be reading the next series.
Book, yeah, for sure.
So what we do is we divide our books. We do in our school, we divide a single book, a single story into worksheets. Half of the story is completed and it ends up with a curious question, so that the child comes to us very next week again, ma'am, usse aage kya hua? I don't know, but you read it and let me know. So this way we try to imbibe, digging deep into the story.
That's too good, ma'am. That's too good. That's too good. Because we are, inspired by the TV serials also, that this thing going to happen. Now it is in the mind, kal jaldi hoye, next episode dekhenge kya hoga ab iska. So that will be into the mind of the child. I have to read the next thing because I need to know what will happen now. So that is also a very, very good.
Many more.
So
There are to encourage. We have many more things. No, we
Yes,
can connect that to real life even.
Yes,
when we connect the reading to real life, they start making relationships with their family and the reading they are doing, the story they are reading to their real life, and then can they find interest into it. Sometimes we play with words with them. That too creates interest into them. Then they say, "हाँ मैं मुझे पता है. I read this word into that book." So they become curious. There are many more things we can prefer.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Shelly, ma'am, 1 minute. Also, we want opinion of yours because we are already in short of time. Your opinion about how can we, make best way to encourage children to read.
See, as I already told, that books are the fun of friends, and this is the silent friends of everyone. So most well benefit of reading is the entertainment value of their own opening a book with a crest and with the white their own pages. And of course, entertainment of reading is typically what draws and readers to pick up the next great book, right? So in fact, reading has been a solid form of entertainment for many years for the children. So though reading is a perfect for entertainment, there's a more to reading than just the entertainment factor. So any reader, any child, any teacher knows that reading can be peaceful and induce their own relaxing state of mind by their own immersing their own yourself, their own good book. So you can almost feel any worry melt away when you read the book. So this is totally relaxable. This is mind-boggling, and this is always brighten your day. Why is brighten your day? Because books can bring joy to your life on a daily basis. The act of reading is a great benefit for your mental and physical health both. So when you read, it can also brighten your day. Sometimes days can be stressful, worrisome, but when you lay down this kind of books. So you always feel, stress,
Yeah.
less situations in your life.
It is saying that music and reading makes you happy.
Exactly, it's help you broaden your mind too. Actually, it
Yeah,
always
yeah,
broaden your mind. It allows to do everything when you read something.
Yeah. Rashik sir, thank you so much, ma'am. Rashik sir, your opinion,
Yeah.
sir.
I just have shortage of time. So like you're saying, so I just wanted to chip into this thing in particular. Like Asa ma'am has elaborated each and everything in detail. The first and foremost thing is the choice of the books which we intend ourselves to read, or we intend that our child should be reading. Who will give that choice to the child when the child is too young to understand what kind of readings he or she should have? The parents are going to be the first readers for the child. The parents are going to be the ones who are going to present those books to the children. So like we should offer choice. We should not only compel the child, okay, this I have brought this kind of book. Like there are different genres there: fiction, non-fiction, drama, like so many things are there. Science fiction is there, which the children like a lot. Comedy is there, which the children like a lot. I used to love comic books when I was a child. So we have to first of all offer choice to the children. This is the very basic aspect which we often ignore. We feel that what we feel is right for the child is right for the child. We never feel that the child might have some other interest. And then, like she said, it's the pleasure in reading which we have to depict, which we have to perform in front of the child. Even if we are reading the comic book or a picture book of which is suitable for a child of nursery, we have to show the same kind of pleasure which we expect that the child will get out of reading this book. So then only the child will get motivated. Every child looks at others, what kind of feelings they are having after eating something, after reading something, after trying something. That is what motivates him. You won't believe, when I was a child, I was in school, my friend, one day he brought that bitter gourd, Karela ki sabji. I hated Karela by that time. But he brought the Karelas in front of me and he started like, रसिक देख ये करेला है, मैं पूरा एक बार में खा सकता हूँ, इतना टेस्टी लगता है, इतना यम्मी लगता है मुझे करेला. I went home that very day afternoon में जाके मम्मी की जान खाई, मम्मी मुझे करेला बना के दो, मुझे करेला ही खाना है, मुझे देखना है कि मेरे फ्रेंड ने कितना एंजॉय किया, क्या उसमें चीज थी ऐसी जो उसने मैंने आज तक खाया नहीं. मींस आई हेटेड करेला. तो this is the kind of things which the kind of atmosphere which Asa ma'am was talking
interest
about,
has to be created.
We have to create for reading.
Right.
So then the children will do definitely.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Amrita sir, what do you like to say
just one
about
more
this?
thing, just one small incident I would like to
yes, sir. Sure.
Like I am talking about the children, the same thing can be done in the adults also. I was in my final year of graduation. Till the time I never had that kind of passion for reading. But we got a teacher, professor, unka naam Mrs. Neeraj hai. She's still there in that same college. She would read the book and read the chapter, and she would specifically mark the juncture at which she has to stop reading. And at that time she'll say, इसके बाद आगे क्या होता है ये हम आपको नहीं बताएंगे, ये हम आपको कल पढ़ाएंगे. And we would anxiously wait for that tomorrow. We will not read that story because the way she read the stories for us, the lessons for us, was so pleasurable. We did not want to lose that pleasure by reading ourselves.
Very good.
So
That's
a
great
person.
experience.
Yeah.
That is a very great experience, sir. That is why I mean you have so much experience about the things and all. Thank you so much, sir. Amrita sir, that's your turn, sir. What you will say about that, and how I mean all these things, when you sum up with all these things, how these things, how I mean we need to ask you that how have you made your app or the things so interesting that the children are getting in? I mean, and you know that type of thing that we have to use this app, we have to do the reading. Parents, they cannot force. Teachers, they cannot force. It is that it has to come into the mind of the child. I want to read this story. So what are the things in your app that makes the child in a playway method or whatever it is that he wants to use that app? Sir, over to you. Sir, you are muted. Sir, you are muted.
Sorry. I think that what I believe is that, as the principals have said, there is so many depth and there's so much depth in this issue. There are many different types of schools, many different types of parents. The problem changes from kindergarten to primary to middle school. Each child has a different kind of issue. We have also noticed that in the middle school, there's a difference between how girls perceive it, how boys perceive it. So it's definitely not something that has one cookie cutter approach ki reading ko solve karna hai, bas ye trick le lo ho jayega. So what we believe is, as a club, as a Club 1BR community, we provide different tools for different cases. Now, the base of that is the Freedom app, jo, anybody can download it and use it in any way they want. But what we do is we work with teachers and schools and parents saying that, okay, you have this problem, maybe you need this training, or you want a set of books that you feel you want to recommend this year, we can help you with that. And the other thing we do is we release a lot of material on our blog, and we do a lot of one-on-one meetings or group meetings with principals, teachers, parents to answer questions that they have, or to guide them saying, this, you have this issue with this book. So I think the main focus that I'm trying to do is that the reading app is a very simple app. It opens up, you take books, you can read it. It will tell you which books are popular among children. The innovation is not in the app, but it's around the app in the amount of community support that we are doing through the 1BR program, and looking at it as a fully holistic problem that we need to solve at every school, every grade, every parent level. Yeah, I'm very hopeful to listen to all these principals. You're so kind and so passionate about reading.
Yeah. So you had a word with me also, and you told me that this right now the app is free.
Yes.
Your all whole program, that Club 1BR program, is free of cost for the schools. At least just, sir, you are muted. So that is free of cost. And you also told that you people also give training to the teachers also. So what sort of trainings do you give to the teachers?
So we do a lot of storytelling training. I myself am a storyteller. I've done over 2,000 hours of storytelling in school, in India, outside India. I have a team of trainers. So we do storytelling in the school and also workshops with the teachers on how to improve their storytelling skills. We do parent workshops. We also do circle meetings where principals share tips and tricks. We are just releasing a white paper next month. We are actually collecting some data from schools. I will write to all of you to share your data also, so that we can include it in the white paper. So I think yes, the program is free. I will reach out to each of you personally. We are inviting members now. We started about 3 months back. I met Sarjeet sir about 2 months back. It's been great. So much excitement about reading in the school ecosystem now. Really excited to be talking about this.
Thank you so much, sir. Amitabh sir. So we say that reading is dreaming with open eyes. We had a wonderful time today. I hope you all also had a wonderful time today. Thank you so much to all of you for being over here. Astha ma'am, Amitabh sir, Rashik sir, Tarna ma'am, Farzana ma'am, and I think Shelly ma'am is not over there right now. Thank you so much for joining in us, and hope to see you again very soon on another topic. Thank you so much, sir.
I would like to summarize the whole day, means this exercise, whatever we have done today, in one sentence. Don't force reading on anybody. Make it a pleasurable activity for them. That's all.
That's great, sir. That's great, sir.
Sir, in one word also. Sir, if we say this in one word also, that is dear time.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Dear time
that's true,
for everybody. Drop everything and read.
Yeah.
So we
thank
had
you,
been seeing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
For providing us this platform, and thank you very much for providing us with this enlightening opportunity.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all of you. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye. Hello.